I guess the big question today is how long this might last. What are you hearing behind the scenes?
You know, I can share with you from the Republican standpoint, we hope it doesn't last very long because we don't want the American people to feel the pain from the Democratic shutdown. So I really don't have a sense of that because it's not in our hands. It's in the Democrats' hands right now.
Congresswoman, our understanding is the OMB director, Russ Vought, was set to speak to your conference today. Can you confirm, has that call already happened, and what was discussed, including the future of potential permanent layoffs?
Yeah, I left the call early to come to the interview, so we did have the call, and he was explaining kind of the process on how things work if this government shutdown continues. He stressed again that he hopes that it doesn't continue, that the president and the administration don't have to make the tough calls. But at the end of the day, there's only so much money to go around, and it is, you know, Mr. Vought's job as well as the administration's job to figure out who is essential and how to continue the programs that are essential. But he wanted to stress again that this can all be avoided if the Democrats come to the table like they have under Chuck Schumer 13 times before and vote for the exact same CR that they voted for in March.
We spoke earlier this hour, Congresswoman, with Senator Ted Budd, the Republican from North Carolina, who made the point that if employees, federal employees, are deemed non-essential at this time, then maybe they shouldn't be working for the government to begin with. Should those 750,000 furloughs today be layoffs?
You know, I think it's a really hard question really to answer. And I say that because I think if that happens, and again, I hope it doesn't happen as a Republican, I hope it doesn't happen. But we know that the government is bloated, right? I think if this does happen, it's going to uncover a lot of what's going on in terms of who is essential and who really isn't essential. If I'm a furloughed employee right now, I don't know that I'd really want to have the government shut down right now.
And Congresswoman, I do want to keep with the labor market, pull on your expertise, your perch on House Fin Services, because our understanding is the BLS isn't going to release the jobs report this Friday, of course, considered to be one of the leading indicators of the health of the labor market. Are there any discussions when you are hearing from the OMB about what is essential and what is not, that data collection could actually fall into that bucket if this shutdown continues?
Yeah, you're right. Everything is on the table, and it's a really tough job to be in with that Russ has to do is how do we make good decisions, right? Data is always important in making decisions. So again, I don't really understand why the Democrats want this shutdown to put more and more power in the administration's hands, right? They've railed against the administration, in my opinion, unrightly so, for doing what the American people elected them to do, and that is be fiscally responsible. They right now are ceding all of the power to the administration. I don't understand it. It doesn't make sense to me. But, you know, as Republicans, we want to open the government. We want to get back to business, to doing our business. I would add this. As Republicans, we've passed all 12 appropriation bills out of committee. We are getting back to how business is supposed to be done in D.C., right? That's what the people want. They want something different. They don't want this big omnibus, right? They want us to go through the appropriations process. That's what we're doing right now. But it's really tough to do that when the government's shut down.
Congresswoman, would you be willing to promise your Democratic colleagues to have an actual negotiation and debate over the extension of Obamacare subsidies if the government is reopened? Or has that overture already been made?
No, we have to have that discussion. We have to have that negotiation. We have to have that debate, right? And that's what we're willing to do. But the issue is we have a funding issue right now. This isn't a health care issue. It's not an agriculture issue. It's not a transportation and infrastructure issue. It is a funding issue. The ACA credits don't expire till the end of the year. We have plenty of time to debate and talk about that, which is exactly what we should do, not attach it and cram it down the throats of the American people.
But Congresswoman, just for clarity, do you support any extension to the expiring ACA premium tax credits?
What I support is going through regular order and having debates and discussions. That is how government is supposed to work. We are supposed to work for the American people, and that's what Republicans are doing right now by continuing to want to keep the government open.
Well, there are a lot of questions about how that's going to take place. Democrats tell us that notifications start going out today to those folks, and that premiums are in fact already rising. What are you hearing about the cost of health care in Michigan?
Yeah, listen, the cost of health care is extremely important, and that's why I applaud President Trump. He told you on the campaign trail that he was going to bring drug prices down, and what did he do yesterday? He brought drug prices down. So I applaud President Trump for doing that. He's actually not talking about it and not using it as leverage. He's actually delivering for the American people. What the people in my district are also telling me is they are tired of the waste, the fraud, the abuse that is happening in this healthcare situation right now, and that has got to be eliminated. That's exactly what Republicans did through the working families tax cuts, and that's what we are going to continue to do. Let's get rid of the waste, the fraud, the abuse, to make sure that the healthcare programs that we do have actually work for the American people.
In the final minute we have you, Congresswoman, we did hear Democratic leaders repeatedly say that the ultimate decider here is going to be President Trump. Is that the right assessment? Is the White House fully leading these negotiations?
Well, right now, President Trump is our commander-in-chief, right? And the Republicans, we have been in constant contact as House Republicans with the White House, with President Trump, on keeping the government open. The president wants to keep the government open. We want to keep the government open. The only people right now that are standing in the way are the Democrats. So we've been in constant communication and constant contact. We're ready to go.